Welcome back to Popcornia. This is Ahmed, and today I am joined by the former IBF World Flyweight Champion, Sonny Edwards. Sonny, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Caught me on the way out, but he was the first to ask, so
Thank you.
I don't like saying no to interviews. I don't.
Oh, thank you. You're one of the first people that actually keeps interview promises.
Do you know what it is?
Yeah.
I don't like saying no to people. Really, I don't like being that guy. You know what I mean? I don't like someone going away with a bad taste in their mouth, thinking, you could have given me a little 5 minutes there. So
Yeah.
I appreciate everyone's effort, really. And I was saying to a girl previously that now I'm at a stage where really I do these interviews, but it's for the people that ask more than anything, because I'm not a professional boxer no more, so it don't really matter what I say. I'm just giving my opinions.
No, I mean, I appreciate you saying yes. It can be daunting sometimes, asking, but yeah, it's very good of you to say yes.
And I feel like the fighters owe it, really. I feel like the fighters owe it when they come to, any sort of boxing convention, which might be a fight or a fight week event or anything, really. I think as a boxer, you sort of, if someone wants an interview, then that's what they're there for. And I don't know. I know some fighters go through I'm only going to speak to them or him and him. And yeah, I've never really minded. I've got on with pretty much everyone, like outside of the camera, you know what I mean? Usually I get on with people, so yeah, thanks for your effort.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I introduced you as the former champion, but I know you don't really value the belts as much. I remember watching an interview with you, and you said the belts don't really mean anything. You can fight a guy who's never been champion, and then you get a belt, and there's like too many belts now. What are your feelings on that?
I think it was more just of like a journey of my own life, like pedestaling a world title for your whole life and then getting it and maybe it not feeling the same way that you kind of like built it up to, maybe a little bit. But at the same time, just my own, personal beliefs in myself. Like, I didn't think one would be a good body of work for me by the end of my career. One was all I got. So, yeah, maybe I'll always sit there and think maybe I underachieved a little bit in that aspect. But like I said, just, the way that the world titles are, the more I got the knowledge of how the game is really sort of set and how the rankings are done and how people are built and put into positions, how people are kept away from each other, how titles can get made vacant because the champion don't want to fight that one fighter, and then now all of a sudden them two are fighting, neither of them have been world champion, now someone's a world champion. It's like, it's just people's opinions, innit? It's just a big pyramid scheme, really, innit? And yeah, I feel like for me, as my career went on, it was less about legacy and belts of achievements in that aspect, and more being able to create events at a weight that there rarely ever is any. And I think I headlined nine fights, 10 fights, TV cards in my career, and at flyweight it just doesn't happen.
No, you're right about that, but do you ever feel you want to maybe do more in that weight class again? Ever feel an itch to step back in the ring?
I don't know, man. I doubt it, to be honest. I do love my life outside of boxing. I've set up a good one for myself. I've got 2 beautiful boys. I've got, career prospects in boxing that don't involve giving up my whole life and, taking and sacrificing as much from myself that you have to do when you're boxing, and you have to do it. And when internally over the years was going on, I knew that I wasn't as prepared or as willing to put myself through, or even as capable, because my body started just suffering with injuries and niggles all the time, to the point of it was really getting me down. Like, I hurt my ankle again yesterday. I was on a date with a missus, and it was at a random one in a bouncy castle place, and yeah, like I rolled my ankle a little bit, and it wasn't too bad, but normally that would have ruined my day. That would have been the only thing I thought about. I would have went home straight then. I would have laid there with ice on my thingy. I would have been talking about it all the time. I would have been thinking about it every single moment, because I would have had a fight coming up. And if not, I would have been thinking about coming to a fight. And yeah, it's nice not having those sort of internal battles, I guess, of my hand's gone again, my fucking ankle hurts again, like, is this ever gonna get better? Oh no, it's not gonna get better. Oh, I've got a fight coming up, so I can't even think about even, addressing it the best way. If anything, I was just getting injured and then recovering as much as possible just naturally, and then just going back into the camp. I was doing it over and over again, and at my weight, like, for the bulk of my career, I was doing a lot more than what I was getting, and then only near at, probably the last couple of years after being world champion, a couple of defences was I getting probably more than what I deserved. But yeah, It's been a good journey. It's been a long journey, and I've spent my last 20 years over that now, boxing, and yeah, I won't be going anywhere else.
Well, congrats on your two boys. So what I'm understanding is that you wanted a bit of a lifestyle change, not having to obsess over like your body and any injuries, but then also you wanted to give your body a physical rest from that.
Yeah, and my mind as well. And in all seriousness, I genuinely believe that. Okay, don't get me wrong. You have like one night of work, and then you have like a nice little break, but then you're worrying about fighting and training again. Out of all the lifestyles that boxing offers to people, I genuinely believe that boxers probably get one of the worst deals. You know what I mean? Like, we genuinely have to sacrifice a lot more. We have to enjoy all the fight weeks, and we're not enjoying it like everyone else is. We're not in the hotels. We're not in the bars. We're not going to restaurants. We're not going to the clubs like everyone else is doing. You know what I mean? Like, all week. So yeah, it's been nice being a bit of the other side more than anything.
Yeah. No, so when did you really come to that realization that you kind of wanted a normal life? Was it during your last fight?
It was before, to be honest, and for a few years now, I knew there was always going to be a time I was going to take a prolonged extra period of break because my body needed the rest of it. But I think the pre-planned break, not beating Bam, wanting to come back, not enjoying like the camp, not enjoying really the fight as much, even though I won pretty much every round, I thought, until the fight got stopped. Like, I just felt like something was missing, like there was a wind in my sails that weren't there, and that's probably why I was so just devastated after the fight, because deep down I realised that knew, but we'd already lined up the Galal fight, and then I think bowed out at the perfect time, win, lose or draw. After I had that big fight in the UK, 7,000-8,000 people there, whatever was there, for a flyweight fight headline, everyone's still there pretty much whilst the fight was happening. It was everything it needed to be to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. And what is it you sort of do now? Is it more punditry that you're looking at, or training even?
Yeah, a little bit of training here and there, helping out some of the fighters that I work with and manage. Is and my friends is the goal really on that one. And yeah, just being really busy for the fighters I manage, and being busy at the shows, networking, commentating, and doing as much as I sort of can from the position that I've leveraged myself in. To be honest.
Yeah. Well, who was it that I saw you in a corner of one of the influencer shows? Was it Sami Hamed or?
I wasn't in his corner, but
No.
I was there. I was out in I was out in Portugal and I flew back for Sammy's fight. Sam and Adam, real good friends of mine. Their dad as well showed me a lot of love and gave me a lot of advice and gave me a lot of his time, and yeah, man, good people. So yeah, I flew over for that. Was back out helping my brother prepare the next day, and then we got off.
That's good. So is that a good relationship you have?
Yeah, and I got loads, man. All my best friends in the world are boxers, really.
Now, taking a look at this Riyadh season where we're getting like all these huge fights now, we're getting all the undisputed. Is that something? Do you think that's good for boxing?
I do think though at some points, like that last card, the last crescendo had legit 5 or 6 headline events that could have been dragged out over every fight with undercard of different fights, some interesting more local fights, etc. Like, so as much as opportunity is given, in some ways it's taken them away, because each of those 5-6 headline fights that could have went on as a headline, they would have had a whole undercard built around and a whole moment just for them. Instead, you had Josh Boatsi, Callum Smith, which could have been a massive fight in the UK, like a really big night of boxing. Was at 5:30 over in Saudi. Yeah. So don't get me wrong, it's great, good purses, great shows over there, great fights, but I think there is a chance that you can accelerate it a little bit too much.
Yeah, definitely. What about this? They're doing a boxing league with like a lot of like smaller fighters as well.
Yeah, no, I like it. More opportunities. You need a conveyor belt. You need a process of bringing fighters through, and the more opportunities, the more fighters get, the more exposure they all get as well. Then always the better. Yeah,
I can see your code, so I'll just ask a couple more. So, is there like one Riyadh season fight that you would like to really see out of any fighters?
I don't know. It depends what we get. It depends what we get given. I think for the UK, and it being in the UK, the Conor Benn Chris Eubank's perfect. I think outside of a Tyson Fury AJ in the UK, there's probably not much bigger out there really. And I I don't know what else we're going to see. Maybe Shakur, Javonta or something like that. But outside of that, there's probably not too much that we haven't already seen. We've seen Bertie before. We've seen Usyk, Fury twice. You know what I mean? Like, we've had the fights that we've been sort of begging and asking for. And, yeah, just hopefully it keeps continuing.
And how do you think this fight goes between Eubank and Benn?
I think Eubank. Yeah, I think Eubank. I think he's too big. I think that's the main.
No, it's interesting. Like I do agree with you there, but then Ben it looks like a killer instinct. Like he looks like he really wants to hurt him.
Yeah, no, but you can have as much desire, but it's how physically capable you're going to be in there against someone that is naturally far bigger. And now size don't count for everything, of course it doesn't. But when you've had someone that's boxed up to 168, won there, never been under 160 to my knowledge, maybe 154 years and years ago, maybe. And Conor Benn's only just come up to 154 now, getting ready for this fight. Yeah. He hadn't been. He was 147 fight before and 140 before that even. So, yeah, I just think it's a case of bigger guys. But there was no other fight for either of them that's going to be as big as this for the rest of their careers, probably.
Yeah. And last question from me: what do you make of all this sort of influencer corner of the boxing? You know, you've got Jake Paul and KSI and Turkey Al Sheikh have just made some kind of agreement. What do you make of all of that?
If there's an event and thousands and tens of thousands, and maybe even potentially at some point 100,000 people come to a fight near enough, then it should happen, you know. And just with boxing, it's if a lot of people know who you are, then you get in the ring and people want to watch you fight. It doesn't matter if you're the best fighter in the world. Doesn't matter if you're an amateur. It doesn't matter if you're an influencer or a model or anything. See this one here. It just doesn't matter. It's an event and people care about it and people, they hear about it and then they come down. And I'm a big fan of anyone boxing. The only thing I ever like to see is it at least being quite evenly matched. Just because only when it's not is a boxing ring the most unsafe.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, those are great words coming from you. And anything you want to let the people know? Anything coming up for yourself?
Nah, man, I'm retired. I'm retired.
Well, any like non-boxing projects?
Not really, man. Just trying to get through the days. Trying to get through the days.
All right. Well, where can the people find you?
I would say everywhere, but no, that's not true. Instagram, innit? trying to leave a boxing press conference and get interviewed all the way out the door.
All right. Well, lovely speaking with you, man. And I wish you the
Thank
best.
you.
All right. Take care.